Hello, my strange and charmed ones. Welcome back to my channel for another video. Today we've got a CharmedBiz chat. I'm super excited and I am joined by a very special guest who, if you were part of our very exclusive Periscope hopping party earlier, you already know that I am being joined today by social media strategist and encourager to entrepreneurs, Lauren Orr from LaurenWithLove.com. And today we are going to be talking about a topic that is very near and dear to Lauren and I's hearts and brands, okay? And that is 5 things that every creative entrepreneur needs to be successful. So essentially what we're talking about, oh, my video just started in the background, and that's going to happen on your end too, Lauren. Good, I just paused it. So we're good to go. So like I said, we're doing 5 things every creative entrepreneur needs to be successful, whether you are starting a business, a blog, a YouTube channel, a paid creative endeavor, or just a fun thing that may end up being a side income, a side hustle, or an income stream in your life, or even may become your full-time job one day. This is a place for you to really hear about our opinions and the things that we think are really important that put up a lot of blocks to entrepreneurs. If you are not familiar with me, if this is your first time here, because I do know that Miss Lauren has a whole following that she's invited to today's event, let me just quickly introduce myself, and then Lauren's going to hop on and talk as well. So my name is Alexis. I'm also known as Miss Trenchcoat all across the internet. I am a blog boss, productivity guru, and online business educator here on YouTube, over on Periscope, and on my blog and shop, strangecharm.com. I teach people how to work smarter, not harder. So if that sounds interesting to you after this event, make sure you hop on over to my website to find out more. And like I said, today, round of applause, drum roll, we've got Miss Lauren Orr. Lauren, take it away.
Yay. Thank you, Alexis. I am so excited to be here with you. And I think my girls pretty much know that I'm pretty, I don't just bring anyone to them. And so Alexis is someone that I definitely admire. Her expertise on productivity and planning systems is incredible. So if you're not following her already, please do so. She's wonderful. She's got a great blog with lots of resources, and she gives a lot of free value on YouTube. And if you are one of Alexis's subscribers and you've never heard of me before, I am Lauren Orr from LaurenWithLove.com. And I have been working in social media since the day after I graduated from college. I got hired to promote social media for businesses. So I've been doing that for a while. I went into corporate America because I thought that would make me really happy. And I realized that I'm too creative to sit at a desk all day and not call the shots. So I decided, you know what? I want to work for myself. And so ever since then, I've kind of become this encourager to entrepreneurs. I started my business in a direct sales company, which is a great gateway to being your own boss and creating your own products, to start with a company who's kind of already figured some of that stuff out for you. So that's where I started, moved up really quickly, built a huge business, earned a free car, trips, all that kind of fun stuff. And then I decided, you know what? I want to make a brand. And so now I'm going off on my own venture, and it is to encourage entrepreneurs. So I just provide resources to help you find your passion and your purpose, to help you plan that out, and to know that it's okay to profit from your purpose and how to make that happen. And I'm just so excited to be here today. So thanks, Alexis.
You're very welcome.
Yay.
You will find that as we go through back and forth, I do tend to like to mute myself just in case, because if I don't know if you guys noticed the interactions between us on this Google Hangout. Essentially, if I make a noise, it'll switch over to me instead of her. So I like to put myself on mute. So if it ever takes me a second to reply after she's done, it's because I'm just typing some responses to questions or saying hello in the comments. So make sure that you guys are interacting in the comments. We absolutely love to talk to you guys as much as we can. Obviously, we're busy chatting and we've got a whole presentation for you guys today, but we do want to hear from you guys. We do want to see you guys interacting in the comments. So the first thing that we want to talk to you guys about, let's do a little poll of the audience. We'll ask the audience here. I would love to hear how many of you are new to either Lauren or myself. So if you are new to me, type in new to Alexis. If you're new to Lauren, type new to Lauren. If you're new to both of us, you just found us like very recently and you're just popping on here, let us know who's new around here, because we definitely want to say hello. And make sure you give us your name too, so we can say hello and maybe where you're from.
Absolutely.
So we've got Tara here is new to me. Got some more. Deb. Jenna is new to Lauren. We've got a good mix in here. New to both. So Jennifer, welcome.
Love that.
Welcome to both of us. That's awesome. Awesome,
Yay.
awesome. Fairly new to both of us. Annika, Brianne, Elizabeth, Safi is in Portland. Oh, we got New Jersey here. Woo-hoo. I'm from New Jersey. I'm from Atlantic City, which, yes, it's true. People can be from Atlantic City. It's like being from Las Vegas, I feel like. Like no one believes you could be born there.
I love the participation and interaction, you guys. I love that.
Absolutely do. Yes, and there's a ton of you. There's over 100, and there looks like 115 of you right now on live. So this is really awesome. So thank you guys so much. And be sure right now, if you guys want to, feel free to tweet this out. Feel free to put this in a link somewhere in a group that you're in or something like that, because we're about to get started. So thank you guys so much for spending part of your Sunday with us, or Monday if you're in Australia, if you're down under. I know it's the next day for you. So thank you guys so much. So next thing I just want to talk about is kind of an intro to this topic. I briefly kind of glazed over it in the beginning here, but I want to talk to you guys about why we chose this, why we thought it was a really good natural collaboration between Lauren and myself. So essentially what happened was Lauren asked her Periscope audience, which I absolutely love this. And I love when you guys get interactive and make suggestions for the kinds of collabs and the sorts of things that you want to see. You guys know I ask you all the time, like, tell me what you guys want. Tell me what you want. I may not always be able to deliver it, but at least I know. And I can do my darndest if I feel like this is definitely something that's going to work for us. But Lauren asked her Periscope audience. They said, check out MissTrenchcoat. She did. She sent me an email. We chatted back and forth. And basically, we talked about, we easily, very, very, very soon after we started talking to each other, we realized that there was a lot of foundational entrepreneurship sorts of concepts and skills and things like that that we both had in common. And we just thought, this is such an important topic, because these are questions, just these foundations of creating a business and being creative and how to get your ideas out there and get started. That's really the point that really stumps a lot of people. So Lauren and I have some great opinions on that for you today, which is the basis of what our chat is going to be. And yeah, like I said, 5 things every creative entrepreneur should know. Lauren, if you want to add something, talk about, your experience getting to know me or, starting this collab, let me know, feel free to address the audience.
Yeah, totally. So I did. I always want to make sure, and what I've seen of Alexis is that she is like this too. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys what you want. And so when you guys mentioned Alexis, and there were definitely some other people mentioned, I went and I did my research, and you can just tell from Alexis that she's the real deal. She's very real. And those are the kind of people that I want to bring to my audience. And so I was so excited to email her. We went back and forth and, we decided, let's just go ahead and Skype. And we got on Skype. And I don't know how long that first call was, Alexis, but we went on and on and on.
Everybody knows me. Anyone who knows me knows that was not a short conversation. It was a few hours.
Yes.
Dinners had to be made.
It was awesome. And there were
so
many things. There were so many things that Alexis and I connected on. And really one of the main things, and Alexis said this, and I'm going to say it. Hopefully Alexis doesn't mind me saying this, but one of the things that Alexis said is, I wanted to do this collab. And she said, I don't care if I don't sell anything. She said, I'm trying to give value to people, and I'm here to serve and to help. And I literally in that moment, I got goosebumps, because those are the people that I want to surround myself with, people who are about the bigger picture. And she's really been called to this, to serve entrepreneurs and to give you guys a look into what she does. And she doesn't keep secrets. And I love that about her. So I was was so excited
You're
to
giving me the
do
warm
this
fuzzies
collab.
over here. Stop. I'm going to
I was
blush.
so excited to do this collab. And after that first Skype call that was hours, because we went on and on, like we both own Yorkies and like we just, I mean, like it was just too much. It was too much. So you guys knew best. You guys knew that that we would be a great fit for each other. And the minute she said that, it was like done deal for me. I'm like, done. I want to work with you, because those are the kind of people that you want to surround yourself with. And so if you're not following Alexis already, you should be, because those are the kind of people that you want in your life, people who are want to help you and genuinely
Thank you
are
guys.
trying
Thank
to
you
do
so
that.
much. And thank you guys all who are from Lauren's community who've come over and just been so gracious with me and welcoming. I'm really excited about this collab. I do think it's just like a natural, like perfect fit sort of collab. And yeah, like it's, you know me, especially when Lauren reached out to me, I was heads down on work. So I was not snooping around seeing who was doing what. So Lauren coming to me, you guys suggesting that was awesome. So thank you guys so much for always, you guys, and a lot of times are the connectors, you're the connectors for the for these sorts of collaborations. So thank you guys so much for that. So I guess we're just going to get into our points, Lauren, right? And you're going to start us off with the first thing that every creative entrepreneur needs. So if you want to go ahead and take it away with our first point.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to share this with you. So, the first point, if you guys are taking notes, if you haven't gotten the workbook yet, that's okay. You'll work it out. You'll get it. Just take some notes right now. The first one is know your why. And we're starting with this, guys, because this is the foundation for creating any type of business or venture that you're proud of. Here's the deal, guys. It's going to get hard. And there are going to be times when you don't know what to do next, or maybe things didn't go your way. Maybe your launch wasn't exactly how you thought it would be. Maybe you're not getting the traffic that you wanted. And so if you only focus on the what and you don't know your why, it's kind of hard to keep going. And so knowing your why is so important, because the only way to fail really is to quit. And so you've got to have that thing that keeps you moving through the hard stuff, because it's not all going to be easy. So know your why is the first thing you need to be successful. And I want to talk about on the worksheet, it says 3 specific things. And the first one is vision. And vision is so important, guys. This is what leads you to focus on your purpose. And so vision is so important. So I definitely, if you haven't written a vision statement, definitely take some time, because what vision does is it gives you the ability to strategically plan. It gives you the clarity to move forward and know not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. And it's kind of that bigger purpose, right? The ability to serve people with your gift, the way that nobody else can. And so when you have vision, you definitely are on your way. It's a great foundation to start. And then the second one is focus. And focus is so important. So important. And guys, focus leads to stress-free productivity. Did you guys even know that was a thing? Like, that exists. Stress-free productivity is real. And focus is what helps you get that. It's when you're focusing on the next step and not the next 30 steps, right? What do I need to do next? Let me clear those roadblocks. Let me learn how to do that. Instead of learning how to do 100 other things I don't need to know yet, let me focus on what I'm doing right now. And I like to use this analogy of a GPS. So, has anyone ever had like a horrible GPS that doesn't give you any fair warning? You can't see the route, and just instantly it tells you turn left or turn right, and you are jarred and you have to make this quick action without any thought or planning at all. It's like the most annoying thing ever. And so that is a bad GPS. And that's what happens when you only focus on your what and you're not thinking about the why. The why is that bigger picture. The why is when you get to see the whole route before you take the journey. Why am I turning this way? And now you know, and you can plan, right? You can get over 3 lanes if you need to before you turn. Because what happens if your GPS is just saying, do this, now do this? If something's in your way and you didn't get to see it ahead of time and you can't plan for it, you're going to have a collision. Like, it's horrible, right? So think of it that way. That's why focus and knowing your why is so important, because you have to see that bigger picture. You can't just focus on what to do, because you'll either just totally freak yourself out. You'll stress yourself out for sure. Has anyone ever tried to get over like 4 lanes of traffic to exit? Like, it's stressful and it's scary and it's not fun, and business should be fun. It's not fun. And you'll make other people mad, honestly. Like, people get upset, right? And the other thing is you can cause a collision, which is expensive and not fun at all. So all of those things are the reason why focus and knowing your why are so super important. And then the last one is clarity. And clarity, what that is that's just setting a clear and sincere mission statement. And if you haven't written a mission statement yet, definitely jot that down on your to-do list, because a mission statement, not only is it something you can always come back to find your way, it's kind of like that map, right? You can always come back to it. Not only is it that, but it allows your customers to be on the same page with you. Now they know what you're about. Now they can trust you. Now they can connect with you. They know what you've been through and where you're going and what your purpose is. And that is so important. So clarity, and just being clear and sincere with what it is you're trying to accomplish, and really just knowing your why. So yeah, that's the first bullet point. And I know Alexis probably has some wisdom to share on that. So go ahead.
Absolutely. And I love that GPS analogy, you guys, because it's so true. For anyone who ever, if you, and even you have a good GPS, you sometimes don't know what the next thing is going to be, which is why it's really important to have that zoomed out view of your business. And someone actually just asked something. They actually said something. Terry says, wouldn't it be great if our life had a "you're off route" warning? Terry, I kind of think we do have that, right? And I think it's our intuition. And I think that as we're focusing on this why, this first point, right? You first have that vision of, what is my business going to be? It's almost that what that Lauren referenced. What is my business going to be? Am I going to be a lifestyle coach? Am I going to be a personal trainer? Am I going to be a planner designer? That's kind of the what, right? Of like the what your vision is, what your business is kind of going to look like in a very broad sense. And then you kind of use your focus to see the why, and more why you're kind of doing what you're doing, and seeing that bigger picture, so that you're making the right moves all the not all the time, because it's impossible to always see the moves, and it's sometimes sometimes collisions are going to happen no matter what, which is really important to understand, that just because you have a collision does not mean that you're off course. But I do think that, once you bring that clarity in there with what your mission is, and kind of marry your vision for your business, the focus and how you're looking at it and organizing it, and then the clarity of why in your heart you're doing this, you'll be able to do a gut check that says, ask your intuition, right? I know this is a little bit woo-woo, but you guys know who follow me, I'm a little bit woo-woo, just a little thread. Ask your intuition. You say, am I making the right choice? And your gut will tell you the right choice. And a lot of times something will happen and we'll go a direction, right? And we'll hit that collision, right? Or we'll get a roadblock and we'll say, I knew I should have done that, right? We knew, it was in our gut instinct. We knew what to do. So make sure that you prioritize kind of getting in touch with your intuition and understanding that you do have kind of a natural GPS inside of you that will help. It does take time and practice to build it up, but using these 3 points, using your vision, your focus, and your clarity, will help you to get in touch with your intuition, to really understand where you're going next, and how to overcome obstacles. So absolutely love that. Point number 1, know your why. Know what you're doing and why you are doing it. Because if you don't have a really good reason, it does make it harder to succeed. And it does make it harder for you to make it through those stumbling blocks. A collision could completely derail you if you don't have your why under your belt. So it's very important. Like, someone who's got their why knows that, a fender bender, right? A little bumper to bumper action is natural, it's normal, and it's something you can totally get over and learn from. So Point number two, Lauren, we ready to
Yeah.
move on? Point number two.
Yes. We're already on number 2, you guys. So I want anyone to comment. Did any part of number 1, was it a light bulb moment for you? Did you jot down a note? Did something spark you? Because those are the things that what stood out to you might help someone else. So definitely be sharing that if you had a little bit of a light bulb moment on that first point. So point number 2 is find your unique edge. This is something that every creative business owner needs to do to be successful. Find your unique edge. That is what makes you different from everyone else. And I hear kind of the same things all the time. There's too many people already doing what I want to do. And I want you to think about like your favorite hairstylist. And I've said this on Periscope before. Think of like this hairstylist that you go to that you totally trust. You don't even have to tell her what you want. You don't even have to explain. Like she's got you. She gets you. You trust her. You connect with her. If you want to do something crazy, like she's going to make you look good. When you leave her chair, you're going to feel beautiful and confident, and you just love her. So imagine that hairstylist if you've ever had one, and I know I have. And imagine if she had thought to herself, you know what? There's so many hairstylists out there, and there's so many hair salons. Like just driving to the store, I passed 6 hair salons on the way. I'm not going to go to hair school, and I'm not going to pursue what I'm passionate about because there's a lot of hair salons out there. Guys, could you imagine if she had done that? I mean, you wouldn't have that person that you connect with, that person that you trust, that makes you feel beautiful and empowered and confident. And so I want you to think of that analogy when you're ever starting to question yourself of if I should be doing this. Yes, because nobody can do what you do the way you do it. So I love that. So finding your unique edge, and the 3 points for that one. The first one is find your strengths. Guys, it's so important to know where your strengths lie and to remind yourself, like give yourself a little pat on the back, some confidence boosting of what you're good at. Know what you're good at and own it. Use your business and make it revolve around your strengths. Like make your strengths shine. I love that when you go to like an interview, and they ask you all these questions, and you definitely only answer the things that are going to make your strengths, like the things that are going to make you look good in their eyes, right? Well, guess what? You get to design your own job, and it's all about your strengths and what you are good at. And so there's lots of resources out there if you don't know your strengths. The first one being ask people. Like literally ask your friends and family, like, what am I good at? What do you ask me for help with? What do you thank me for? And just jot that down. There's also some great resources like the book Strength Finders 2.0. It comes with a test, and you can take the test, and then you can look at all the answers and know where your strengths are and really start to define what you're great at, because you have unique gifts and unique strengths. So the first one is find your strengths. And the second one is use your weaknesses. This is something that I feel like we want to like shy away from and like cover up. Like I don't want to show people what I'm not good at, but you know what, guys? Your weaknesses can really help you create your business in a few ways. And the first way is they can help your customers connect and relate to you. So, one of the things I shared on Periscope before I picked my one word is that I have a real issue with consistency. I'm a great starter. I'm the best starter there ever was, but I'm not such a great finisher. And so, my word for 2016 is consistency. And so, what I did was I shared my weakness with others. And guys, so many people were uplifted by that, inspired by that, related to that. And we are able now to keep each other accountable on something that is my weakness. And if I had just hid that or pretended like it didn't exist, I wouldn't have grown. I've grown so much in January already by just announcing that weakness and working on it. So that is something that I'm so passionate about. Use your weaknesses. And another way that you can use your weaknesses, guys, is you can collab with people. Do you guys see what me and Alexis are doing right now? You guys can find other people whose strengths are your weaknesses and come together to make magical things happen. So know your weaknesses. Don't be afraid of them, because you can work on them, and then you can find other people who share who have the opposite weaknesses that you do, and those are their strengths. So find your unique edge by finding out your strengths, using your weaknesses. And then the third one, and I'm pretty passionate about this if you know me, is avoid comparison. And Alexis and I talked about this already, and I know she has some great things to share, but comparison, guys, it's a trap. I'm telling you, it's a trap. All that it will do if you look at other businesses and try to compare where they are and where you are, all it's going to do is derail your focus and derail your productivity. It's going to make you feel awful, and it's not going to help you further your purpose. And I found, in fact, when I go on like blogs and I look at and I follow people who do the same thing I do and do similar things and have similar strengths, and I just like am reading all their content and watching their videos, like sometimes that can like really stunt my progress, because I just start comparing and I start like almost like trying to be who they are. And guys, we don't need that. Like the world needs what makes you come alive, and that's what it needs. It doesn't need what somebody else is already doing. And I think we're so quick to look left and look right. And I just want to challenge you to put your blinders on. When I have found the most success, it's just by going ahead and doing what I'm doing and not comparing who I am and what my business is and where it is to other people, because it is a trap. So the second thing I think you need to be successful is find your unique edge. And it's uniquely yours. And it's your strengths, it's your weaknesses, and it's not comparing those to other people to make you feel, to make you feel shame or anything like that. So that is point number 2. And I know Alexis has some awesome things to share about that one as well.
Yeah, and as you were talking, I was just like making all these notes because I was remembering that sometimes I wish like my epic Skypes that I have with people have been recorded so I can like just grab things out of the Skypes, because we definitely had a very deep conversation about topic number 2, point number 2, which is find your unique edge. So just want to really quickly kind of reiterate in my own words what I just heard Lauren say, and then I want to kind of get really deep down and dirty into the comparison thing, because there's so many things there. So number 1, when it comes to starting your own business, what I'm hearing Lauren say, and what I totally believe as well, is you do you. You do what you want to do. Don't let the fact that someone else is doing the same thing stop you from doing it. Do I think that you need to find your unique edge, the thing that makes you a little bit different so you can position yourself in the market? Yes, you absolutely do. And that's the point of point number 2, to find your unique edge, is because you do need to know what makes your business different than others, right? Like her analogy in the beginning, there's so many situations where we have oversaturated markets everywhere. Like how many different hairstylists are out there and nail salons, and how many different places can we go to the movies, or, online, how many places can you buy planners or stickers or all the things, right? There is competition everywhere, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it, or that you won't bring something new to this topic, to this category. So you do what you want to do. Don't let what anyone else is doing stop you. Just try to find what makes you different, because that's what's going to help you stand out. Number 2, be honest with yourself about what you can do and what you can't do, right? So this strengths idea, right? You want to make sure that you are building a business that will let you utilize your strengths to the best of your ability. And you also are understanding what your weaknesses are. Number 1, because you want to be able to identify when those might end up causing a problem, right? If you're really bad at bookkeeping, let's say, right? You need to know that for your month-to-month bookkeeping, right? Because it means that you probably need to get a bookkeeper, right? Because this is not your zone of genius, and that's fine. No one can do everything to the best, at the best of their ability. It's not, everything isn't everyone's zone of genius, okay? So everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses. Identifying what it is that you need help with will help you to make your business better, because you're either going to outsource that or you're going to get help with that. conversely, like Lauren said, it also is a great opportunity to collaborate with other people, because no business does it themselves. Like, really, they don't, especially online. I just see so much great things that happen when people collab. There's just like so many of the awesome collections. Think about like Target, right? Target has so many designers that come in to collab with them, like Philip Lim. I remember Isaac Mizrahi was like the first one years and years and years ago. He was the first big deal. And they have so many different collaborations that they do. I just kind of sneak peeked this Bobble Bar collaboration that I just saw with Target. So, think about how collaboration makes businesses better, right? It really does make businesses better. So if you can find someone to collaborate with that almost is like your foil, like your opposite, right? And come together on something that is kind of like an essential truth that you guys both believe in. Maybe it has to do with your why, which is, one of the reasons Lauren and I were so easily a natural fit, because we have this same why and purpose to serve and share information openly and give value back to the community. So that's very important. Okay. Don't be afraid to collab. Number 3, comparison is the thief of joy. We've heard this many, many a time. Do not compare your beginning to someone else's middle. There is so much waste of time that happens when you get stuck in the comparison trap. And there are a few ways that comparison, I think, really rears its ugly head. Number 1 is the idea that we think that if other people are doing something, we can't do it, right? So I talked about this a little earlier on. You just do what you want to do, no matter what other people are doing. Number 2, Lauren and I had this deep conversation on a belief, and I think you maybe said who said this, that there are really no new ideas. There are no new ideas in the world. So everyone is just kind of recycling old ideas. And there's another concept that I absolutely am obsessed with that's called synchronicity, okay? It's when people seem to be people who are, even if they're in the same community, or maybe they're not in the same community, and they're syncing up on what they're doing. And a lot of people see this, look around and go, someone's copying someone, right? This is something that we see happen when kind of friends collaborate a lot with their brands or businesses or whatnot on social media. Everyone has seen it, and we don't need to give any examples because this is not meant to be negative. This is a positive webinar here. We're focusing on the positive and just revealing truth to you guys so that you guys can feel free to start your creative business. But, we see sometimes friends will do things together and it'll start to look the same, right? They'll start to blend together because there's this principle that someone said that was like, you are an amalgamation of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right? So you're, whoever you spend time with is what you're going to end up embodying. So we see this a lot, and it's not copying. It's not people crossing the line. It's completely innocent. It's just human nature, which is why you have to have your eyes on your own paper and put the blinders on. Okay. So do not worry if someone else is doing it. You do you, and you find your unique edge. Do not worry if other people are, synchronicity, things are popping up that are similar. When you see things pop up that are similar, it just means you need to be you the most you can possibly be, because people will know the difference. People will see the difference. Do not veer off course. Stick to you. Stick to your lane. And the more you put those dividers up, you are going to be crash proof. You're going to put these firm dividers up, and no matter what someone else is doing, everyone's going to know what you're doing and why it's different than everybody else. And I'm very sorry if I'm yelling right now, because these earbuds, I don't know if I'm getting really fired up and it's like Italian yelling at you right now. But just remember, synchronicity, people will go through the same cycles. They just do naturally. And do not worry that someone else is doing something similar to you. Do not compare anything, what you're doing, to somebody else. Just keep focusing on yourself. This is where focus is so important. Focus on yourself. Be selfish. Don't look anywhere else. Stay in your lane, and you're going to create amazing things. Amazing. Okay. I think that was my point for that. Anything else to add, Lauren, with that? Because I know we talked so much about the whole synchronicities and no new ideas. Everything's just been recycled. And I know you have the same feeling on me as I do.
Totally. I loved Alexis just took us to church, y'all. She got so loud. I love it.
The
Her
Church of
passion,
Charm.
yeah, her passion just radiates through because I think it's okay for someone like for us to give you permission to know that it's okay. Like you weren't copying and they're not trying to copy you. Like you do you. And if they really are like trying to copy you and like doing that, they're always going to be one step behind. So just keep going. And just
You
know
can't
that,
copy you
yeah,
can't copy someone behind you. That's something you got to
totally.
remember. You have to, if you're you can't progress your business if you're always looking back to see, oh, are they on my butt? Like this is like when you're running. I feel like when people are running marathons, they tell them not to look back. Like just stay focused and you will stay in the one spot. Like don't look back because then you'll stumble. And conversely, if someone else is behind you, like staring you down instead of looking in their lane, they're going to eventually fall and they're always going to be one step behind you. And it's just, they're never going to catch you. You're flying so high. You're so far ahead of them because you focused on your lane. And that's how you get through that. Drop the mic.
Yeah. Boom.
So everyone good on that? Does anyone here in the comments want to say anything about, how you feel about things like that? Does that make you feel free? Does it make you feel like we want to give you permission? Just do you. Like, screw what else is out there. Do you find your unique edge, right? Find what makes you different. Position your business a little bit differently in the marketplace. And you're going to soar. If
Yeah,
Hayden says it makes you
absolutely.
feel free, amen, says Tara. You are ready to go, Hayden. Excellent. Good. I just want to make
Absolutely.
sure you guys are getting this because this is probably, you guys know I have to, if anyone's new here, I always do a mic drop in every one of my things. I think this might be where my mic drop is. If I drop the mic again, you guys, this is just off the charts. That's why. So, okay. We're good to go. So next point number 3. This we're starting off with me here, you guys, because you guys know this is my zone of genius here. The third thing every entrepreneur needs to be successful is you need to set goals. Okay? Goals. You need to be a goal digger, as they like to say, right? You are digging for goals. You're going to set goals. So there are a few ways that you can really make sure that you're setting goals that are working and that you can execute on, okay? So number 1, this should not be new to anybody. If it is new, take notes. Use SMART goals. SMART is an acronym, S-M-A-R-T, for the way that we set goals. It's almost like kind of like a rule of thumb sort of thing to make sure that you're setting goals that you can actually achieve. So I'm sure this isn't new to most of you, but we're just going to go through and we're going to talk about what SMART means. So SMART means you want to set goals that are specific, right? You don't want some vague goal that has no specific details about it, because unless you're getting specific, you don't know when you've hit the goal. So specific goals are very important. Measurable, okay? You want to make sure that you are able to put measures in place to say when you've hit that. So you want to say, let's say we're going to use a really generic example that everyone talks about, losing weight, right? You can't just say, I want to get healthy in the new year. Okay. What does healthy look like to you? Let's get specific. Does it mean that you want to lose 10 pounds? Does it mean that you want to develop a routine of working out? Does it mean that you are going to prioritize healthy whole foods and stop eating junky foods? Okay. So let's break that sort of down in this SMART goal method. So specific, want to lose 10 pounds. Well, guess what? That's measurable, because when you get on the scale and once the 10 pounds is over, boom, you've hit it. Okay, you want to go to the gym 3 days a week, work out 30 minutes, right? That's something you can measure. You can track when that you've gone every week to the gym 3 times. Next, eating healthy, right? So maybe what you'll say is that you want to follow the 80-20 rule. A lot of people say this 80-20 rule with diet and exercise, with like your diet. 80% of the time you're eating good, and then 20% of the week you can have a cheat meal, right? So you just kind of work that out in your meals and your snacks and figure out what that percentage is, and you'll know, right? You can track that. It's measurable, it's specific, and it's measurable. Next, is it attainable, right? Is this something that can happen? Is your goal to be a unicorn? I'm really sorry, but you can't turn into a unicorn. Like, it's not attainable, right? And that also goes into being realistic, right? Are you setting realistic goals? And going back to the diet and exercise one, let's say, oh, I want to lose 50 pounds next month. Probably not going to happen. That's not realistic. It's not something that you're realistically going to be able to do. Maybe, and let's say 100 pounds, definitely no one can lose 100 pounds in a month. Maybe some crazy people have like worked out 24 hours a day and ate broccoli can lose 50 pounds if you're a certain weight. But let's just say 100 pounds, definitely no one can lose 100 pounds in a month. So not realistic, right? And the final part, T, is timely, which means you have bound it to time. You're going to say, I want to achieve this goal by, boom, this date. This is my time to achieve this. So that's the acronym of SMART goals. So setting your goals for your business and for yourself that are SMART are going to be really important. Okay. And something that I just want to say about, because I do get asked a lot about setting goals for growth, community growth, and business growth. I've been asked before, you know, should I set a goal? What sort of goal should I set for how many followers I should have on Instagram? When it comes to things like that, I do think it's great to have a number. Like if you're just starting off and like, I think, you know, having 1,000 followers in any social media feed, I think is awesome. So that can always be like a first goal. But instead of saying that you want to reach 1,000 followers, I almost feel like you can't really attain that, right? Because it's somebody else's action. Somebody else has to hit subscribe in order for you to reach that. So how can we turn that goal on its head and make it so that it's something you can do? How about we set set a standard of measure that you're going to reach out to 10 new people a day. You're going to network with 10 new people. You're going to find 10 Instagram accounts that you think will be interested in you, and you're going to like them. You're going to send them a message and reach out to them. That's something you can measure yourself to do. And everyone knows if you're getting social on social media, you are going to get the followers. You are going to get people to come to your account. Same thing with pictures, right? Let's use Instagram again as the example. I'm going to post a picture every day. That's going to increase the likelihood that you're going to get new followers. So when it comes to setting goals for your business, I do like to suggest that you choose measures that you have control over. So your interactions, the things you're going to do day to day to make it happen. So that's just what I want to say about finishing up SMART goals. Step number 2, point number 2 under setting goals is to plan it. You really have to take time. Hello, we're in the planner community here, to plan it out. Plan out how you're going to achieve that goal. So you're going to break your goal down into a project plan, right? That's what I love to do. Take a goal, make it a project plan, and you're going to outline clear milestones, right? So maybe some important milestones along the way. If you want to do that whole, I want to get to 1,000 subscribers on Instagram. Okay, so maybe your first will be 250, 500, 750, and then 1,000, right? Like nice manageable chunks. And then you want to make sure that you've got some actions associated that you can start doing to get you started, right? And a lot of people think that you have to have a complete project plan before you can start. And I'm here today to tell you guys, you do not need, although having a complete plan is great, the only time someone really has a complete plan is something they've done before. If they have experience doing something, they've already done it once before. They're doing, let's say it's like, you know, my CharmedBiz. I have a system for how I do these CharmedBiz chats. Done it before. So I could write out a whole project plan for doing one of these once a month because I know what to expect. But if you have never done something before, you're not going to know all the steps. So there's this great quote by Martin Luther King Jr. Has something to do with take your first steps in faith, and the staircase will begin to kind of like show itself, right? So the idea is first you have to start making a few steps, even if you don't know where you're going. So take a few actions, have some action items immediately for you to start on, even if you don't see the whole staircase, you don't see the whole plan. Start moving forward with actions on faith. You know the first few things, and just have faith that more stairs, more steps will present themselves, because you know what ends up happening? When we get stuck in that I don't have the whole plan mapped out mode, you never do anything, you never start. But if you start with just a few things, just a few key items, once you get those done, it's almost like you get to a point, you finish something, and then all of a sudden, oh, I see all of these different routes available to me now. Like suddenly I can see different ways I can go. And then you make another choice to move you forward. And then you're like, oh, there's some more choices I can make here. Acting begets action, right? What is it? What is this, like law of nature? Body in motion tends to stay in motion. Start acting and you will begin to see more of the steps you have to take. And hopefully you'll be able to get more of that map, that overarching view, so that you can start making more strategic moves. But if not, if you're really just not able to see it yet, just start acting. And if you do make a misstep, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, right? They say the definition of an expert is the person who has made all of the possible mistakes in a very narrow field. At least if you try something and it doesn't work or it doesn't give you the results, you know, okay, I tried that, cross that option off, nailed to option 2, right? And you can keep crossing off options until you find the option that works. Takes a little bit longer, but guess what? You're acting, so you've already started. So you've already got the momentum, okay? So plan it out, have those action items, even if you don't have the whole project plan. Get started on the project plan, kind of have an idea of the milestones that you need to have under your belt so you at least know the general direction you're going in. And the third and final point for this is to execute, okay? And whew, execution. I mean, if you're a follower of mine, you know that like execution should just be my middle name, Alexis Execution. Like that should just be my middle name because I'm totally the kind of person that just does it, right? And people ask me, how do you start to execute, Alexis? And I just go, you just do it. You just do it. You go, okay, I'm going to do this thing, and you just do it, right? So this is one of those things where I don't have a fancy, this is like Nike, just do it. That's all I can say on this. To execute means you actually have to start taking action, right? So if you did that project plan, you have some things you can do. Start on something that you can do and get moving. Another point we want to make on this execution thing, though, was one other thing that I do say is a little caveat to this, is that if you, especially if you're a creative entrepreneur, okay? So we're talking about creative entrepreneurs here, but anyone could technically fall under this. Being creative is an effort, like it really is. Even if you're naturally creative, it is an effort. And you've heard me already say this term, and I think Lauren said it as well, zone of genius, right? When you're working in your zone of genius, you're very creative, right? You're on. It's like a light bulb, you're turned on, you can get the work done. Sometimes as a creative person, because creativity has an ebb and it has a flow, it can flow and there's plenty of creativity and our light's on, or it's got that ebb and we're low on juice, we don't have a lot of creativity left in us. You have to understand that is part of the creative process. So if you have the mental blocks, you have writer's block, you're just not able to create, understand and try to plan for that. Because unfortunately, that is something that happens to creative entrepreneurs, is that being creative is not easy, right? Something has to speak to your soul essentially in order for you to activate, right? So that's how we create, right? So you really have to know that it's okay if you are stuck and you're pounding your head against the wall and you're going, I can't create today and this is miserable. And I had it on my planner that I was supposed to spend an hour writing blog posts, but I cannot write a word. I can't even think of my own name, right? Give yourself permission to walk away, because you'll waste that hour of your life that you could have just been doing resting, right? I say if that's where you're at, you probably need white space. You probably need to rest or go do something else. Go read a book, listen to a book on tape, watch something on TV, clean the house. That's what I do. I'm trying to be a good person, like routine wise. And whenever I do have that creative slump, go clean the house. And this is why I hate cleaning, right? So cleaning the house motivates me in my mind to really say, Alexis, you had better start getting creative immediately, because we are not doing this. If I have to touch a dish, I'm going to be so mad at myself. Michael will not get mad if the dishes aren't done, as long as you wrote those blog posts. Like, this is literally the conversation I have with myself. So, have a plan B for how you're going to spend your time when you're not being creative. And if that plan B is something you hate doing, I bet you're going to be creative quicker than you think. You'll get yourself over that quick. But give yourself permission to say, I'm just not going to do it right now. I can't do it right now. And then the next time you're on, right? The next time you're on, hustle, execute. Get it all done, because you've got the light switch on. Things are flowing, the water's flowing, and this is your opportunity to do it. Okay? Those are my points for setting goals. Lauren, I know you probably have some things to say.
Yes. Oh my goodness, you guys. Number 3, wasn't that awesome? She's like the goal guru. I love it. I love it so much. So, okay, so I've shared this before, but one of the things what happens, when we set goals, and I love that Alexis talked about SMART goals because we've all heard the saying like a goal without a deadline is just a dream, but it's so true. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. There has to be a deadline or it's not going to happen, right? So I love that she mentioned that. I hope you guys, wrote that part down because that is so important. And it's definitely one of the things, it's good to know and to always come back to. But one of the things that happens is that, if we just set a goal and then we don't reach it, we just start feeling like really down on ourselves, right? Like set a goal, I didn't hit it. It's either like a pass or fail. Either you're going to feel great or you're going to feel awful. And so one of the things, and I've shared this before, and someone yesterday mentioned on Periscope that this was working really great for her. So I want to share it with all of you. So you might have heard it before, but it's called MTO. And MTO stands for minimum target outrageous. And it's just the way I like to break down a goal so that there's no way to fail, right? There's no like pass or fail. Because whenever you set an MTO goal, you're going to set your minimum thing that you're going to do. You're absolutely going to do the minimum. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. Your target is like your goal. It's what you would like to see happen. And then your outrageous is the incredible. And you'll be surprised how many times you hit your outrageous. And if you had just set the one, like maybe you wouldn't have gotten as far as you did. So an example for MTO, like say your goal is weight loss. So, okay, my goal is weight loss. So I need to break that down into activity goals, right? So 30 minutes of activity is going to be my goal. 30 minutes of workout a day. That's my target. So what's my minimum? My minimum is I'm going to do at least 5 minutes before I go to bed every day. So like before I get in bed, if I haven't done 5 minutes, I better do my jumping jacks and my push-ups right there on the side of my bed before I get in bed, because my minimum is every day I'm going to do 5 minutes of exercise, right? And then your outrageous is like a 1 hour heart pumping cardio workout and you feel on fire and then you take a run, right? So you set your goals in these 3 ways and then you can't lose, right? Minimum, target, outrageous. So I love that. And it really goes hand in hand with setting a SMART goal. And then one of the other things that Alexis talked about, especially with planning and execution, I hear all the time like, oh, I don't have the confidence to get going. Well, guys, action breeds confidence. That's what makes you confident, is when you do that first thing. You feel so good when you achieve that. And it gives you the motivation to keep going, because inaction breeds doubt. So the longer we don't do, we're just sitting here thinking about it, then doubt starts to set in and it just stalls things so much further. So the more you're researching, the more you're looking up, the more you're collecting information, the more you're trying to do it all yourself, right? I'm not going to buy that course. I'm just going to figure it out myself for 6 months. Like all of that inaction breeds doubt, and then the doubt starts setting in, and then you like forget your why and your vision is gone and you just don't do anything. And have you guys ever had those moments where you're like, man, I had the best intentions but nothing got done? We've got to do that first thing, and that's going to breed the confidence to get you to that next step. So I love goal setting, and I love turning goals into game plans, and I know Alexis does too. So what a great point.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, you guys, so now going off of the goal train here, because we just got our goals situated. Number 4, the fourth thing that you need to be successful as a creative entrepreneur is you need to create systems for your success. And I kind of alluded to this in the goal setting little portion, but systems are really what's going to help you really build a habit of success for yourself, right? So when it comes to creating systems, there's 3 types of systems that I kind of like to think about for my own life. And I think these are key for other entrepreneurs as well. So the first are habits, okay? So like I said, we want to create a consistent habit of success for ourselves. So the first way we want to do this is to replace bad habits with positive ones to create an environment of success for ourselves. Now, remember earlier when we talked about knowing what your strengths and your weaknesses were? If you know what your weakness is, if you know that you're the kind of person that spends a lot of time working on your finances or your taxes or whatnot, and it ends up wasting your time and you do it wrong, and it ends up ruining your day, and you could have been spending your time in your zone of genius, but instead you were doing something that sucked, right? Like, you need to replace that habit of thinking you could do it all or thinking you need to control it all. You need to replace that habit with a good one. Calling a bookkeeper to do it for you and spending that time wisely, okay? So, when it comes to habits, they're the things that define our lives, right? Our habits define, we are what we habitually do, okay? So if you are not setting up good habits for yourself, let's say, as for me, I will tell you something I recently struggled with. Around the Christmas times, the holiday times, I really got lax about my schedule. And I was waking up, no joke, 10, 11 a.m. Like it was getting really, really bad. And I was staying up like 2, 3 in the morning. Like I had a crazy like schedule I was doing. And so the new year, one of the things I wanted to do was break that bad habit. I wanted to get myself up in the morning. And there were things that I did. I set alarms. I had friends message me in the morning. I'm like, send me this in the morning. I scheduled some things to happen in the morning that, like, if I missed it, I would be really embarrassed, like calls with customers and things like that, because it was like, things that would force me to get out of bed because I was clearly unable to be, motivated by my own reasons, right? Because this is something that I know is a bad habit of mine. I can get lazy when it comes to sleeping. So I started setting up these good habits of going to bed earlier, taking my bubble bath with my, using my doTERRA lavender oil to help me go to sleep, setting the alarm, waking up with a plan for breakfast that I was like looking forward to eating, having a plan for my clothing. Guys, and if you guys saw my Dress for Success video at the end of December, you guys know, like, I got all of this like new jewelry. I don't know why, but putting on jewelry in the morning when I get dressed, I don't know why it motivates me to do more work. It just does. I wake up earlier to put on jewelry so I look cute. I don't know. So vain, but it actually works, for me at least. So replace those bad habits with good ones. It's very important. Step number 2, the second sort of system that you need to kind of have managed is routines, okay? So routines will help you incorporate daily goal-related activities into your life by making your choices simple and your actions automatic. Imagine a business that felt like it was just running itself because every time X happened, Y happened, right? So you always had a plan, a routine for how things were going to go. For me, moving back and replacing those bad habits of sleeping in, right, and staying up late, it was really important for me to define a morning routine for myself. So I would get up, make my bed, I would drink some water, I would get dressed, I would do my hair and makeup maybe minimally, put on some jewelry so I felt like I was fully clothed and like ready to start the day. And then moving into the afternoon, I had my plan, like, you're going to work. At this time, you're going to take a break and have lunch. You're going to continue to work. At this time, you're going to have your coffee break, which I love having my coffee break. I don't drink coffee in the morning. I drink coffee at about 3 in the afternoon. It's like my treat for the afternoon. So that routine, building those routines, and of course, nighttime routines as well, right? Like putting on my pajamas, taking off my makeup, taking a bath if I want to take a bath to relax, getting into bed at a good time, using the doTERRA oil, reading, not being on my computer, things like that, that would help me unwind for the night. Those routines helped me to break those bad habits and to establish really good ones. And now I'm super excited. I've been waking up for like earlier in the morning. I'm so excited now. Instead of 11, I've been getting up at like, some days I get up at like 6 in the morning and my husband's like, who are you? And then sometimes it'll be like 9, but still I'm making progress. And these routines are helping to support this. And so think about that and how that applies to your business, because as an entrepreneur, especially a creative one, and especially Jenny just said, it's very important if you work from home, because having these routines that will support the lifestyle of being a creative entrepreneur is invaluable. Like, it's invaluable. So it's very important that you get into those routines. And something else I want to say about routines is, I know it's like common practice. Everyone's like, entrepreneurs should wake up early, right? Early bird gets the worm. This goes back to kind of knowing yourself and knowing your strengths and weaknesses. If you know you're a night owl, please, 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 please do not try to turn yourself into a morning person, because you're probably going to throw off the zone of genius for your creativeness. So no, this is where I'm saying, we talked about this before. Know yourself, know what it is that you are. And don't think like, oh, I'm a bad entrepreneur because I don't wake up, right? Get into the comparison trap. Oh, I have to be like Alexis who wakes up early. I am not a night owl. I do stay up late. My husband's a night owl. But I know that I'm more productive at 10 a.m. than I am at 7 p.m. So I know that being a morning person serves me. It may not serve you. Do not be afraid. If that's you, just make an adjustment. Tailor it to your needs. Don't feel like you have to be like me. Be like you. And guess what? You will be more successful because you haven't tried to bend over backwards to be something you're not. You went with the flow of your life, and that's fine. You can establish routines either way. And that's the great thing about having control over your habits and routines. You define what your life is going to be like and how you're going to be working. Third system for success is systems, business systems, okay? So systems in your business are processes that give you uniform control over your business, okay? So it's any reoccurring task should be systematized so that you can quickly act while giving your business a professional polish. Okay, so people ask me, what are systems? Well, if you have a process for creating products or fulfilling orders or creating content, right? Or replying to emails, doing customer service, all of these things that are regular tasks that you have to do. And how regular they are, that's up to you. You could systematize anything. You could systematize something that you do once a year, like your taxes. But, you know, the idea is that anything that's reoccurring, the more things that you can turn into a system, and the more systems you can actually kind of write out or plan out, the better, because then you've got a plan for how you're going to handle everything. So that's kind of the knee-jerk reaction. When you get an email for customer service, this is the process that starts. When you get an order for your shop, this is the process that then starts. Having those systems defined, written down, are awesome. And you know what's really great about having systems, especially defined and written down, is if you ever need to get help, if your business ever expands, you've got the processes written down. So you can just pass that like book. And I'm actually in the process of building something like this, right? Building a book of processes so that if I had to get an assistant, right? Because I might want to get an assistant, I can hand it to them and go, these are the processes. This is how you do it. So they don't have to wonder what they do when X happens. They can see it written out, defined. So your business will only be as successful as the habits that you build and the routines that you use to support your success. Like that, you know, like the morning routines, evening routines, you know, when you're going to be working, how you're going to deal with that creative block. Like I said, it's my routine to go do something I don't want to do, like clean the house, to hopefully kick me out of that creative blockage. And then the systems for your business are going to be very valuable that you have these processes, and they can be super simple, you guys. They don't have to be complicated. I know the word system makes you think, like, I know for me, I always cringe a little bit when I hear the word system. I mean, I know better. Like, I know that a system can be super simple, but I always think, oh, system is complicated, right? No, it's just the process by which you do something. And you most likely already have systems. You just haven't recognized them, and you haven't solidified them. You haven't evaluated them to make sure that they're what they need to be. Because sometimes you're doing a system and you're like, you're looking at the end of the week and you go, you know what? I really shouldn't be doing this while I'm doing this. So then you go, you know what? Cutting that out of the system, and I'll do this later, so that it cuts down time. It makes you more efficient. This is where the beauty of systems lie. So Lauren, you got anything else to add to that?
That was such a good section. Did you guys love that? Did you guys take so many notes? That was so good. Habits and routines are so important. And I think, especially if you're like trying to do a side hustle, like maybe you work full time or you're a full time mom and like it's a side hustle, you can get so caught up in the day to day. And then you look and you're like, man, I wanted to do this thing. And now 3 months have gone by and nothing's happened, right? Those habits and routines and systems ensure that you make progress. And I love what Alexis was talking about. For those of us who are planner girls, and I know quite a few of us are, you should be able to look at your planner and see where your values why. You should just be able to look at that schedule, look at those routines, and see where you're putting your value. And that can really help you. Do an audit of your week, do an audit of your month, and put those routines in check, right? And those systems in check. And I love when she was talking about systems and writing out your processes. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, for a VA, if you hire a virtual assistant. So I love that you touched on that, because guys, if you've never hired a virtual assistant before, let me just tell you, and especially if you think, oh, I'll never need an assistant, you will. If you grow, you will. And let me just tell you that becomes a job in and of itself. Like, you think like, oh, I'm going to hire this person and they're going to take all this stuff off my plate and it's going to be so great. But managing them becomes part of your job now. And so you gain more responsibilities. And so if you have to go through this whole like creating processes now while you're trying to manage this new person, and you're paying them, guys, like, time is money. And so if you have those processes now, it'll prepare you so that when you grow and you do need a VA or help, that you won't have to spend time creating processes. Or even worse, and I see this happening all the time, having the VA create the processes, and then they're not true to you and your brand, and they don't do things the way you do things. And so everything, I was over here like throwing up praise hands when Alexis was talking.
And that's a great point what you're saying about the VA and having, especially when you're small, right?
Yes.
And you think, because I think this, you guys, I mean, let's be honest, like, I should have maybe hired a VA by now. And I am, for certain projects, I do have a VA that I am starting to work with to like deal with certain things that I know that are easy. I can just pass them off. But like more and more, especially, I feel like when you're smaller, it's much easier. So it's like now I'm always almost like, darn, you really should have had these things defined out earlier for yourself, because it would have made it easier when you got bigger. So when you're smaller, even if you're like, oh, it's a long time out until I need this, no. Define them for yourself. It'll help with your own efficiency, and define it for the future, because you may end up needing that assistant or bringing in someone to work with you. And that's very important to have those. So anybody here have any questions about systems? How do you guys feel about systems? I know there was like a lot of information and routines, and I've got some great books. I'll just give some book suggestions right now that I just absolutely love for routines and habits. I love Gretchen Rubin did Better Than Before. That was a good one. And also there was The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's Why We Do What We Do in Life, I think is the subheader. Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit. I loved that one. That one's my favorite out of the two, but they're both very good. So I guess we'll move on. Number 5, right? Our fifth and final thing that you need as a creative entrepreneur to be successful. And this is maybe a little bit more woo-woo, and I'll start it off, and then Lauren's got some more input to add as well. Give, and then ask, okay? So you as an entrepreneur need to give, and then ask. So what we mean by this is you want to be constantly creating things for your audience in terms of, number one, content, okay? So if you guys are familiar with me, I blog 3 days a week. You get a new blog post from me. It's content that is free. It's got a lot of tips and tricks. And it's just something that's helpful to you guys to have that content there. I do YouTube videos and things like this. Free content. It's content that you guys can enjoy and take in and learn from. So creating content like blog posts, YouTube videos, resource guides. If you want to make a resource guide for your audience, maybe you're not a blogger, but you'd like to write like one bigger piece or put together some important tools or tips. Excellent thing to do. And any other sorts of free content that you create, even Instagram posts, you guys, Facebook posts, anywhere that you're sharing ideas, content, inspiration, motivation, tips and tricks and strategies, things like that. The more that you can create, the better, because you guys know, I mean, you guys may be familiar already with this book that I also love, Jab, 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 Right Hook by Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk. Totally all about how it's important to give before you ever ask your audience to purchase something for you or do something for you. It's more important that you give upfront and give as much as you possibly can upfront before you start asking for people to support your business. So you do that, number one, by giving your content, okay? Number two, by giving your time. And this is very simple. It's replying to questions and comments you get and emails you get. Being active with your community, devoting time to that is very important. And I completely understand that as you get bigger, it's harder and harder for you to spend a ton of time. I know that when my business was smaller, it was so much easier for me to be in Facebook groups and all over Instagram and responding to like every single one of my YouTube comments. And now I still go through and I check everything and make sure, if people have questions, I always respond. Emails, you always get a response from me unless something happened and like the email went, like, I don't know. I've had some people who are like, I emailed you, and I'm like, I didn't see it. I don't know where it is. But I try really hard to make sure I get all the emails replied to. It's very important to me. So spending your time, I think it's so important to devote your time, give your time to your audience so that they know that they can trust you, that they know you're there and you're active and that you care about them. And this is all stuff you need to do before you ever sell a product or launch a business or anything. You really need to be giving your content and your time for free first. And third, the third point for this final point is the value. Anything that you're doing in your content, in your time, you need to make sure you're adding value. You guys may hear that I use the term fluff a lot. Whenever something has no value, I'm like, oh, this is just fluff. It's just words like that don't really say anything. There's no action here. There's no help. There's no value, right? Make sure everything you do has value, including your paid products. Obviously, that's like super important. And I have like a rule that I live by when it comes to especially my paid products. And I try to infuse this in my content and my time as much as possible. And I'm sure those of you know me will probably say I'm pretty good at adding this to my free stuff as well. But especially with anything that I'm charging for, I under promise and I over deliver. Okay. Because it's so important that I give you guys way more than you even expect. I want to make sure I'm blowing you out of the water every time you have an experience with me. Either you're getting free content that in and of itself can be valuable. And, I give away so much free content. And I know Lauren, has plans for her blog as well, where she's going to be giving away, and she already does on Periscope, so much great free content that she could easily put into a product, right? Easily something that other people would charge for. But we are very focused on making sure that we're giving value. And especially in my products, if you guys have ever bought anything from me, you guys probably already familiar. Under promise, over deliver. Okay. And if that's even in terms of I'm over delivering in my customer service to make sure that you guys are happy with the product, there's so many different ways that can manifest itself. So that's kind of the process that I use. Give, and then ask. Always be giving of yourself, serving others and your community. And trust me, the value just comes back to you. And I was telling Lauren about this. This is one of my woo-woo beliefs is that any time or effort I spend, any content I put out there that's free and valuable, any place I'm adding value to the world, even if no one's paying me to do it, I really do believe that you get back tenfold what you put out. If that's positivity, if it's content and value, you're going to get that right back. I'm going to get 10 times the amount back just for spending, this hour to 2 hours with you guys of my time for free, sharing this with the, like 130 of you on this call right now. Like there's tons of you. Like how much, 2 hours, two of us, 130 of you, how much value is that? You know what I mean? We're going to get it back tenfold. Okay. And the same thing happens though when you're being cheap with your audience. Remember that when you're being cheap or you're being negative, when you're not spending the time that you could be spending. It's one thing to not have the time and steal an hour here and there to interact and add value, but when you know you could be doing more, that will come back, and it comes back to bite you in the hiney, unfortunately, because you will get back 10 times what you put out there in the world. So I think that's about all I have for that, Lauren.
Yeah.
And I know you've got so much to talk about with that as well.
I love this principle, give, ask. And Alexis just commented on so many great things. And what I want to encourage you guys to do today is just take some time to brainstorm, what ways can I give to others? Like, what ways can I use my purpose to give to other people? And just make that list so that you know that you are giving value and you're putting it out there. And I love, because, okay, so my last webinar that I did, my List with Love webinar, I had someone email me, and she was precious and she was trying to protect me. And she was just saying, I did your webinar and I downloaded the workbook, and I just want you to know, like, I've paid for programs that had less information, and that was really good. And you need to be charging people for that. And it was the most precious thing ever. And yes, I agree with her. Like, we have to, in business, you have to, make a profit. But and I told her this, it's never going to hurt my business to give too much. Like, giving too much is never going to hurt me. I'm always going to try and give as much as I possibly can. That's never going to do me a disservice, because I love my community, and I love, all of you girls coming together. And so give, ask is so important. And one of the things, especially with creatives, that I hear a lot is, like, I don't know how to, like, sell things. Like, I don't know how to, like, promote myself. I don't want to be salesy. Like, sale, like, that's a gross word, right? Selling, like, oh, that feels yucky. Like, you picture, like, a car salesman or someone who's, like, sleazy, and you're just like, I don't want to be that. So I have this great thing, but I'm not going to share it because I don't want to sell. And what I want you guys to know is, like, I don't sell anything. I make money, but I don't sell anything. All I do is serve people. I create products that I believe serve people. And if it serves you, I'm going to tell you about it and I'm going to share. I'm not selling to you. I'm going to share it with you if I believe that it will serve you. And I'm the first one to say, hey guys, this is who this product is not for. Like, if you're in this place, this is not going to be for you. And so I never feel sleazy or yucky. And so I feel like if you have that thing, like, I want to start a business, but I don't want to sell, then don't. Just serve people. Create products that serve others, and you will always feel good, and you will always have that tenfold that Alexis was talking about coming back to you. And you can make a profit from your purpose and still feel so good and give people so much. So I just want you to brainstorm some ways, and Alexis put some on the worksheet, with your time and your content and your value. So brainstorm some ways and your specific niche that you can just give value to people, because you're going to create a loyal tribe of people who trust you and connect with you, and they're going to be raving fans, ready and waiting for when you're there to serve them with your product. So I think it's just so important. And I think that's a tactic that a lot of business owners don't talk about. Like, they do it, but they don't tell people because it's like their secret thing. Like, I'm going to do this because it's going to get me more sales. And so we wanted to share that with you. Like, that is a tactic that I believe if you have under your belt, you can't lose. Like, you are going to be an awesome business owner if you have that tactic. So I love that, like, we're getting you ready, we're giving you systems, and then this last point is like the secret to take it home. And it's so
And you know what?
important.
Something I want to add about that too, Lauren. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
No.
before it jumps out of my head. People often ask, how do I know what I should sell in my business? What would sell? What would people want? Well, if you've got content people are reacting to that you're already giving away, that content can be the basis for a bigger product with more value and more oomph to it that people would be willing to pay for. So when you're not sure even what you should sell or what your business should be, go back to, like, what's the content you can create? Start creating it. If you're adding value and people are responding to it, guess what? That could end up being the basis for a bigger and better product and a base for your business to get an income stream from. So never, ever forget that. Content is another great way. And I do this all the time. I test content all the time. I see how people are reacting to it and see if they like it. And I think, okay, well, I've got way more under my belt that I just gave you guys the tip of the iceberg there. And you guys thought that was amazing content. Wow, wait until you see that 90% is still hidden away, and I'm going to turn that into the product that you guys, if you were already reacting to that content and you thought that was valuable, wow, spending a little bit of money is going to get you astronomically more value. So that's how you sell. You never have to say buy, buy, buy. You just say, hey, remember that thing I did? You liked that, right? Here's way more.
Yep.
And then it's just, if you've added value with the freeness, if people have seen your free things and said, wow, that's valuable, they're going to be like, wow, well, what am I going to get when I pay? You know what I mean? Like, how much better is it going to get when I pay? And it does get astronomically better when you pay.
Absolutely. Love that. Okay, those are the 5 points, you guys. We
And
just
talk about adding value. Lauren's got a special bonus.
Oh yeah. Okay, so my website launched today. So for those of you who are like, "Oh wait, there's not that much stuff on here." So I have been paid for years to build other people's businesses, and this year I want to do that in a different way by giving free content and giving content to the masses that can really do awesome things. And so one of the things down below that we have linked for you guys is some freebies. And so yes, Alexis is showing them. Alexis loved these when she saw these. I created these free printable Post-it notes for you guys, and I designed them very Alexis inspired. They're very strange and charmed. So you print it out and then you can put your sticky notes on it, run it back through your printer, and have unlimited custom sticky notes. And I just think it's so fun. I love using this system. So they're so cute. Alexis is showing them.
You guys, this is so cute. Like, look at this. I printed them out. It's basically, you print out on a piece of paper, like the template. Then you just put your sticky notes on over it and feed it back through the printer. And then you've got custom designed sticky notes. Look, they're so cute. I love them. She's got big sticky notes and little ones. You can see I've already like pulled some off because she also did this dashboard that's so cute that I've got in the beginning of my planner now, like in the beginning of my notebook. Like, look, you can put a dashboard with all these little guys on it and start adding tasks and stuff.
Yay. So all 3 sheets are yours totally free. Just tell me who you are and where to send it, and it'll send it to you automatically. And I love using that system. And so the whole system is free for you guys. And you guys can use it as many times as you want. I love that daily dashboard. Mine is laminated, and I'll use some of the smaller sticky notes to like plan my meals for the day. And I just kind of have this place. And this is the other half. It's the
the other half of that is a Like a Boss brainstorm sheet, you guys. So it's that other dashboard is split with this.
Yay. So you can print them out and cut them in half if you have an A5 planner. And if you plan in a personal size planner, just scale it to 85% and it'll print out the right size for you. If you didn't know that little tip. So yeah, so that is yours totally free, just for watching today and just being a part of the conversation, the positivity and excitement. There have been so many girls just in the chat lifting other people up, and I just love it so much. So excited for you guys to have that.
Yes. And then also, you guys, we have another thing for you guys. So like we said, we're always adding value. And then there's premium content as well. So one of the things that Lauren and I quickly saw that we had in common with the way that this, with this webinar was going, was that we kind of have like 2 sides of a coin going on right now with with workbooks. And you guys may remember that back in November, I launched my workbook, You Got This, which is a strategic goal setting guide to help you identify your goals and execute them. Basically, 90 times more than point number 3 and point number 4. Okay, so that was the tip of the iceberg. Okay, and Lauren just launched a workbook that it's essentially the first 3, right? How many more does it go into with these points? The first 2?
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in there. It covers a bit. Yeah.
So that's why this topic kind of came together. These were like the tip of the icebergs for these 2 workbooks we have. And the great thing is that these workbooks are already very affordable. They're both sub $20 price points, right? So you could pick these up very inexpensively, and we've got them linked down below. But for 48 hours till close of business on Tuesday, we've got a special coupon code for you guys, and it's HIGHFIVE. Okay, so if you go down into the description box, you guys, and no joke, right now I'm actually checking to make sure I set this up. I think I did. just checking because I don't want you guys like to go to my site and then I didn't set it up because so many things to do this weekend. But HIGHFIVE will get you on my site and on her site $5 off of the books. So basically, instead of paying 40 for both, you're going to get both for 30. Okay, so it's a nice value, giving you a nice chunk off if you want to get started on your business, find out what your focus and your why are going to be, and then how to set and execute those goals. These are like a natural fit. So if this is something you're interested in, a very low cost sort of product, and if you thought this was valuable and this was free, like 90% more over in these workbooks.
Absolutely.
So absolutely make sure that you use that coupon because it will get you $5 off of each of our products that are linked below. And you guys, hold on.
I'll just talk a little bit while Alexis,
because I have to set this up. I totally forgot to do it.
No, it's awesome. So we wanted to give you guys something specifically just for you, just for being here, because guys, I hope you realize that that is an accomplishment. Like, you took time out of your Sunday to better yourself, to better your business, and to grow. And that is massive. And so we want to reward that. And my followers know I reward engagement. If you are here and you are present and you are trying to grow, I am always going to reward that. And so that's what we wanted to come up with, this coupon code. But really, the Finding Focus workbook, I'm so excited to launch it. It's a roadmap for creative entrepreneurs. So if you're like, man, I kind of know what I should be doing, but I don't really know. I don't have it all figured out. Or maybe you did launch your business and it didn't go the way you wanted. It is really that roadmap to get you to just connect with yourself. In it, there's so many activities. I think there's 12 activities. You write a belief statement. You write a mission statement. There's just so many different things that guide you through how to find focus in what you should be doing. So you connect to yourself, you connect to your purpose, and then you kind of connect the dots and make it all work. There is quite a bit in there about finding your unique edge and how exactly to do that and own it, which is so important. And I know someone asked about tips for a mission statement. That is in the workbook. It's a whole little recipe, and you literally just answer questions and plug it in. Like, it could not be simpler. So I'm super excited to launch it, and I hope that it serves all of you so well. And I just think it's so great to pair with Alexis's workbook because it can kind of get you in the right place. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know exactly why I'm doing it. I've got my purpose, my passion, my unique edge. Here they are, crystal clear. And now I need to move on to some systems and to some goals. And so I just think they go so well together. So I think if you already have one, you need both. I just think they go so well together. Yeah,
they absolutely do. And I just let everyone know in the comments, HIGHFIVE, spelled out HIGHFIVE, and it's in, the description as well. Now it's working, $5 off. You got this. And if you use Lauren's, it's $5 off of her Finding Focus roadmap. So I hope you guys are really excited about this, because definitely this was all, like, I hope you guys can see this was very well planned out. We just wanted to make sure, like, we gave you guys all of this content for free, all of these fun goodies, the study guide, the cool bonus printables that I flippin' love. When I saw Lauren did these before, I was like, love these. This is so cute, so clever. Had to have some. And yeah, and our workbooks just kind of go right into this. So nice low cost product. Like I said, get both of them for under 30. If you already have my You Got This, because I know there's many people on here, I've seen your name before. I know you bought my workbook already because it's been out since November, but get Lauren's, so you got the complete set, right? Totally. So make sure, you want to make sure you're finding your purpose, setting that sort of intention for your business, and then getting specific on the goals and how to get there, and creating the routines and habits that are going to guide you to success. I love roadmap and this whole GPS. Totally is. Totally, this all goes together, this analogy. It's wonderful.
Yes. And can we do something a little woo-woo here, Alexis? I want you guys to pretend like you just paid to watch this video. Like, I want you to pretend like you just invested some money to get all the value that we just gave you. And I want you to put it to use like you paid for it, because we did give, and I don't want you guys to skip over the free stuff that you were just given. Like, you guys had some light bulb moments and aha moments. Like, use that to grow your business. So I just want you to pretend like you paid, like, think of an amount that would motivate you. Like, that you paid money to watch this. And so are you going to watch it again? Are you going to take notes? Like, what are you going to do with the information that was given to you? Because all that matters is what you do from it. Like, we vibe off of your success stories. Like, that is where we
and we want to hear your success stories
Yeah.
too. Make sure you stay in contact with us. If you watched this video and it was blowing your mind and it got you started on your business, even if you didn't buy the workbooks, if you do buy the workbooks and you just reached like a whole new level and got over some blocks and were able to find your way to your business, we need to hear about it, because we know that this information works. It worked for us. It can work for you. You just need to put it to use. And Lauren is so right. So often people get free stuff and they kind of glaze over and never really think about it. I know many of you were taking pages and pages of notes. Let's put that into a plan of action immediately and let us hear about it. And also, if you want to, if you don't buy anything from us, these workbooks, they're not for you. You don't need them, but you got value out of this interaction. Pay us back by sharing it. Share this out. Let people know about this. Take the link and tweet it out, put it in Facebook groups. That's how you can repay us, by sharing this content. And then you look like the winner if you share this with friends who didn't see it. You look like the awesome guy, the awesome gal who's in the know about planning and business, right? Who you may share this content and you help someone else, like your business bestie who wasn't on the call, right? You look like the guru go-to person. Take this, and everyone asks me, can I share your links in my blog? Yes. Take this video, blog about how much you liked it. Here's a piece of content for you guys. And guess what? You're adding value to your community by sharing this with them. So do not hesitate to share. Sharing is caring.
Absolutely. And you never know, guys. I mean, you do become like the people you surround yourself with. So don't you want, you want to bring your friends to like that higher level. And I feel like people are always like scared to like say, but you guys might find your next partner to collab with, or one of your friends who has been too scared or shy to say, I want to have a business too, or I want to start something too. And so you never know what that could bring you.
Am I still on volume here?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay, I didn't know if I muted myself. I'm just texting Terry, who's having some issues getting those freebies.
Yes.
If you go into the description box. So if I don't know where all of you are watching this, you could be watching on your phone, computer. If you have the ability to open the description box of this video, it's going to give you the code, the HIGHFIVE code, so you don't have to worry about that, the expiration date. Then it talks about the Finding Focus workbook. There's a link. The You Got This workbook. There's a link. The free study guide for the chat, link. Free CharmedBiz bonus link. The CharmedBiz bonus is the printable from Lauren. That's what that is.
Bundle.
Charmed bundle. Yes. Charmed bundle is what it's called.
And all it does is it just pops up. You just put in your email address and it auto sends it to you.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, you guys. So now I think we're at the end here, and we'll just start taking a little bit of Q&A for like 15 minutes, you guys. So if you guys have any open questions, feel free to ask them here in the description box or question box.
And if you guys did take value today, just share that and let us know in the comments below, what was your light bulb moment? Yeah,
I'd love to hear that too. What part of this was the most valuable to you? What really felt like
you
needed it? Awesome, Terry. Glad you got it.
You guys have been so engaged and so awesome today. I love it.
And there's still tons of you here on this call. I can't believe it. There was no dwindling. We actually, as we gained momentum as we went. See, action propels momentum. Thank you, Mabel. That's very nice of you.
It is so nice.
Thank you.
Yay. Thank you, guys. Words of affirmation. Love it. Thank you. I know Alexis was answering questions as we went too. So
yeah. And if anyone has any other questions, we'll just take a few moments if you guys want to put them in. I also know there's a delay, Lauren, as well. There's going to be a slight delay in the comments.
I'm a neon sign right now. Oh, that's so good. Put that out there.
So Hayden's saying that she wants to know how to build the confidence to follow her notes and say what I think without feeling nervous or off track. I guess what you're feeling right now, Hayden, and I can totally relate to this, is that you feel like maybe your points don't have value, right? But you have to remember, if you did the work, if you read the book, you are a intelligent human being, your opinions are completely valid, right? So you never know when something you say is going to resonate with someone else. Like Lauren had said earlier about knowing your weaknesses and being willing to share those with people. You never know when telling people, hey guys, I'm really bad at X. You know, people are going to rally around and go, oh my God, I'm so bad at that too. And you felt vulnerable sharing, but it ends up helping people connect to you. So Hayden, remember, you're an intelligent human being. You did the work, right? And this is not just for book clubs or anything, writing blog posts, sharing anywhere, whenever you have to be vulnerable and share. And there was a book, maybe this book was not necessarily made for me, but I read this last year, Brene Brown's Daring Greatly. You may want to check that out because it's all about being vulnerable and putting yourself out there. Clearly, it's something I don't have a problem with, right? This is not my weakness. It's my zone of genius. But that does not mean that it's not plenty of people's weakness to share openly like this and to allow themselves to be raw and vulnerable. So remember, if you've done the work, you're an intelligent human being. Do not be afraid to share. All you're going to do is connect with people. And you know what? If no one agrees with you, guess what? No one remembers the people they didn't agree with. They remember the people they did connect with. So if you say something and it falls flat, okay, it just fell flat. That's all. People aren't going to remember, oh, Hayden said something, it fell flat. They're going to remember the people they connected with. And the more connection is really the goal here. So you have to be vulnerable and you have to put your ideas out there to connect.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think somebody asked if you do these often, and I think if we both, but I think Alexis does this once a month.
Yeah, I do CharmedBiz once a month.
Yeah.
I had a schedule for it and then it fell off schedule. So I kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. But if you follow me online, you'll see. I do announce it a few days before I'm doing it. I generally do these either on a Wednesday or on a Sunday. And this time works for a lot of people. So I do this once a month and I try to bring on an expert, right? Lauren was my special guest expert today.
Yeah. I also saw somebody asked, if I work in a network marketing company, can I be considered as an entrepreneur? Oh my goodness. Yes, you are absolutely an entrepreneur. And I think so many people don't understand that about direct sales and network marketing. I'm going to be honest, and I've had a lot of different jobs. Like I've pretty much worked in every area, and network marketing is like the hardest job I've ever had. You are every portion of it's like being a solopreneur. Even though you have that company, you're still customer service, you're still like all these different areas. So you are absolutely an entrepreneur, and it can be a great platform for you to grow. Either staying with that company. I mean, some people make millions of dollars in network marketing. I know, I'm friends with people who do. And so that could be a great thing. Or like me, it could lead you to want to start your own thing. So absolutely, you're an entrepreneur. Absolutely.
Okay, and I had a question here from Jenny Pens, who asked, how much should I share and give weekly, monthly? If I don't share enough freebies, will you lose your audience? So for the first part of that, how much should you share weekly, monthly? It's all the schedule that works for you, okay? I have a schedule for myself for my content, which is generally I blog 3 days a week. I put up at least one YouTube video a week. I try to post on Instagram every day, and I like to be interactive on Twitter, right? And I also have some Facebook groups that I have to be in. Like I try to pop in like a few times a week. That's what works for me, but it may not be what works for you. So define what works for you and stay with it consistently. Lauren said her word for this year is consistency. But what people don't understand is it's not how much, it's how consistent. Okay. So if you only share one thing a week consistently, the same day, same time, you're fine because everyone knows when to expect it. Just like my favorite TV show comes on at same place, same time every week. It'll be on unless it's a bye week or something, or it's on, off for the season. But think about that. It could be once a week. It could be once a month if that's absolutely all you can do, but stick to it. And then gradually increase, right? Don't take on too much thinking you have to do everything and post every day on all the platforms. Do a little bit, start small and work your way up. To the second part of that, if you don't share enough freebies, will you lose your audience? Absolutely not. The freebies are the way that you are going to get your audience in, and the content as well is going to grab your audience in, and just being consistent is going to keep them there. It's going to keep them there. So don't worry about losing your audience if you don't do enough freebies. I know I go overboard with freebies. I like them.
Too.
It's like I've got like my free tech wallpapers every month. Now I've got like my multiple free inserts. It's like at any time there could randomly be a freebie, free study guide. Like I like making things online. I'm a designer at heart. So it's like, I just make all the things.
I just don't think you can ever hurt your business by giving.
No, you absolutely can't. Absolutely can't.
I saw another question someone asked that lots of people say that you don't need a blog anymore. And Alexis, I definitely think this is something you can jump in on. For me, my opinion, and this is just my opinion, so take it for what it's worth. But I really think there's like two different realms of blogging. There's kind of like the old school blogging and new school blogging. And I think old school blogging is like setting up a blog, not a brand, you're just a blog, and putting ads all over the place and blogging about other companies' products, and then taking up like a small percentage of their sales if you sell them, like really doing affiliate work and that kind of thing. And that has worked for so many people. And then I think the new school way of blogging is creating a brand and creating your own products. And instead of making pennies off of an affiliate link, you're making 100%. So I think it's just kind of like two different realms of blogging, but I definitely think blogs still serve such a great purpose. So
absolutely. And I completely agree, obviously, or else I would not have a blog still.
Yeah.
I definitely think though, the blogging is not for everybody. It's not for everyone. It's not for every business. I'm going to have to refer you guys. I have a video on my channel called Should You Blog? Like it's called like, should I start a blog or should I blog? It's like 20 to 30 minutes with a free study guide to help you decide if you need to start a blog. So if this is something you're thinking about, I'm going to direct you to that because this is a huge topic. And that will definitely be a great resource for you. Hope says, I have a plan idea for my Etsy shop and I'm concerned about drowning in other shops that may have similar product. Any tips to help combat that? Yes, Hope. When we covered in the beginning of this, that you need to know your why and you need to find your unique edge. Find how you can position yourself, what makes your shop different. Even if other people sell similar shops, what can you do? Sell similar things in their shops. What can you do to make your products or your shop stand out? I'm going to give you guys like a really basic example that you guys will probably be able to relate to. Etsy sticker shops. There's thousands of them. A lot of people will say that a lot of them have the same graphics, right? Because a lot of them buy the graphics from the exact same sources, okay? So they all end up with similar graphics. What you could do if you wanted to start a sticker shop, and I don't know why more people don't do this, get yourself familiar with Illustrator, create your own designs that are unique to you, and then there's no copying there because you're doing them yourself. No one can go and buy them and make an exact looking sticker. And you're actually adding value because you're creating things that are unique. And you can have whatever themes you want for your stickers or etc. But there's always something you can do to make your business stand out. Think about what your unique edge is going to be. It's very important that you think on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that tip. And what can you do that no Etsy shop is doing? In what ways can you give? Can you, give a free downloadable sticker sheet every month or a free printable that comes with their purchase so they have like right now satisfaction of having the stickers and the stickers coming in the mail? Like what can you do that other people aren't doing? There's always something that you can add.
Absolutely. Dietrich Rock says, can you guys talk about your discouraging moments where you felt like things weren't going as you'd hope and how you kept going? Okay, I have two good examples of this one, and I've told some of you guys may have heard this before because I do tell you guys whenever I have these like hard moments, I like to tell you guys. Number one was last year, I decided to change my direction of my brand in a sense away from purely planners and decorative plannerness to productivity and business. So I took like a side trip, right? Whenever I made videos, the videos that were about business didn't do as well. It was kind of sad. I knew the information was valuable. I knew I was adding value. I knew that people needed to hear it. And I knew I was ahead of the curve. Like I knew this was coming down the pike. I knew that if people liked planners and stickers and washi tape, that what they really wanted was to be more productive and organized. So I switched that way. All of that content did poorly. A year later, do you guys know how many people are talking about the exact same things I was talking about? Like It's the business end, the amount of people who are now talking about business and calling themselves, I swear, you guys, I hate to say this, I think I may have coined the phrase planner guru. And how many people now call themselves a planner guru or planner? They have a planner, a productivity blog, right? Like, these are things that I brought to the community as far as I can tell. I don't know. Like I said, no new ideas. Someone else may have been there before me and I just didn't know. But there's so much more of it now. And now when I do planner videos, people are like, well, I wanted a business video. Like, so do you see that it's sometimes when you're ahead of the curve, you have to wait for people to catch up. So that's discouraging story number one. And how I kept through it was just, I knew that that's where things were going. And this is the thing. You can't start something new and expect that it's going to happen overnight. It takes a time to get new followers. It takes time to develop a brand. It takes time to do all of this stuff. You put in the time. You have to stick to it for a year, before it sticks. If you just start a blog and you're not getting a lot of traction, you're starting a YouTube channel and you're not getting a lot of traction, get consistent and stick to it for not just days, not just weeks, months, years. It takes a while for that to happen, okay? Example number 2, this is something I've actually had to backtrack on because I jumped too soon, you guys. This is an example of something I did that discouraged and I had to go back on it because I wasn't patient. Periscope. I started playing with Periscope in July and I was doing weekly scopes, July, August, September. I got a lot of feedback from my community. They were mad that I was not making YouTube videos. They were mad that the content was on Periscope and not on YouTube. Got a lot of upset people in my community because of that. People thought I was leaving YouTube. I was like, no, I'm not leaving YouTube. I just spent some time on Periscope now. Like, I can be in more than one place, you guys. So what I ended up doing was, because my audience was upset, I vowed not to go on Periscope with my content. I was like, okay, I'm just going to stick it to YouTube. I did that. And guess what? Periscope was doing really well for me. Do you see a little Yorkie over here who's like trying to jump up and barking? Sorry, I'm not addressing you. Look at his little head. Can you guys see his little head right there? Okay, chill out, chill out. I'm making a video. Hold on. Okay, you guys, sorry about that. Basically, I gave up on it and I realized that Periscope was doing a great service for my community. And what ends up happening is sometimes, we hear the naysayers and we listen to them, and because their voices are the loudest. But it's not always true. I regret that I stopped doing that, and that's why I'm trying to gradually get myself back into Periscope now, because I did love it. I loved it. And it was moving the needle for my business, and I just gave up on it because some people had their shaking their sticks going, listen to me, I don't want you to do this, because they didn't know how to use Periscope. It was still pretty new in the summer, Now more people are into it. So now I got to get back into it. That was the time where I actually did a CharmedBiz chat with Mandy Jean Chic and Anne Samoylov. The topic was Periscope, and I announced I'm going to stop doing Periscope. So now I have to go back. I have to go back on what I said because I didn't wait it out. So I hope those were 2 good examples for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great examples. I think for me, like, keeping with like the Periscope analogy, like, it can feel really discouraging to start something new. And especially when you feel like you're here and you have a voice and you have things to say, but you feel like nobody's listening. And when you broadcast your first scope, those of you who have scoped before can attest. Type if you've scoped before. If you've ever done your first scope, it's kind of defeating and a little discouraging because there's like crickets and you don't know, like, there's, people aren't on there, right? Because you haven't built your following yet. And so, anyone starting a first Periscope is going to feel a little discouraged, right? Because you get on there to talk to people, and then if nobody gets on to talk, that could be really discouraging. And the way that I pulled myself out of that was with consistency. And I know that is my word for the year, but it's my word for the year because in December, I started Periscoping every day. I did like a scope miss, like how YouTubers do Vlogmas. I did a scope miss and I scoped every day until Christmas Eve. And guys, it started out as one thing and evolved into something else. And I grew my community, and that consistency led to more than I could have ever imagined. So just if you're feeling discouraged, keep moving forward and just be consistent. And I think that will really help, pull you out of that discouragement, because great things happen when you just keep going.
Absolutely. I'm trying to look through to see if we missed any good comments here, questions here. Of course, every time more comments come up, it like knocks me off where I was looking. But if you guys have, let's take maybe one more question, you guys, because we're really getting late here. There are still, my goodness, 115 of you on this call right now. Bless your hearts. Sticking it out.
You guys are so amazing. I did see someone ask about like a starter in blogging. Do you want to do that one?
Okay, can you answer the question?
How to promote your blog when you are a starter in blogging, because nobody sees your article when you are new.
Correct. Okay. Number one, the first way you get your blog seen, create some really awesome content, get some good pictures in there, get some good writing that people are interested in. Okay. If you set that up with good SEO, search engine optimization, people searching for that content will find you. It will happen. Okay. It takes a little while, but it will happen.
Yeah.
Number two, share that content. Don't just write a blog post and never mention it again. Tweet it out. Share it in Facebook groups that it pertains to or that allow you to share. Make sure you're putting it on, Facebook, Instagram, like say something about it on Instagram, talk about it. Find people in other communities and get to know them, grow an audience, and get to know people one-on-one and let them know about your blog. I mean, a lot of people have a blog and then they never talk about it. Like, it's like they come to YouTube and they never talk about it. And I'm like, if you have a blog and you're a YouTuber, you should be cross-promoting. You should always be even if it's a blog, even if you don't blog and you just do Instagram and YouTube and Snapchat, okay? You should be cross-promoting. So create good content is step one. Share it, step two. And number three, network with people who need it. And that's another way to like build a community.
Absolutely. I love what Alexis said. She said, go where your people hang out. So the people that you would love your blog, you just know because you created it for them. Like, it is for them, to serve them, help them, educate them, entertain them, whatever it's about. Go where they hang out. And be helpful. Don't be spammy. Comment on things, especially if it relates to your blogging topic, and offer great advice. And then you'll see what tends to happen is in those communities, like say if it's a Facebook group, if you're constantly in there talking about that topic and giving value, you'll see that when someone asks a question about something and they'll be like, can someone help with this? They'll tag you as the expert, right? Because you've been giving value in that community. So don't be spammy, but go and see where you can serve. And then my other business marketing advice, because I've worked with online businesses, is start to grow an email list, and do that by creating something valuable, like Alexis said, and give it away for free. And what you can do is just set up a splash page and send them there, and share it out and post about this free thing that you're giving. Now you've got an email list. So if people aren't coming to your blog, like you're not getting traffic, that now you can email them every time you've got a blog post. And so you can start building up, a community of viewers, and just give them free value and collect that email address so you can update them, because those are people who are interested in what you have to talk about. And then I think the other thing is, if you're not using Pinterest is so great. Create an image with every blog post. And I mean, this is getting into some good content, but really be sharing on Pinterest, because Pinterest is huge.
Absolutely. It's definitely a big traffic driver, especially for creative entrepreneurs. One more thing I'm just seeing, Tina said, how do you get people interested in your product service on social media? Do you tag them and let you know you're doing what you're doing, or is that rude? Only tag people if you know them and you know like the content pertains to them, right? Like don't tag randoms, okay? But use hashtags. Hashtags are the social media search engine. Use relevant hashtags. Yep. That's how you get your pictures seen. You guys, even me, I've got over 20,000 followers on Instagram. I still hashtag. Like, I don't hashtag as much as I used to, but Hashtags are important. They're search
Yes.
engines.
And can I just say something about that? Make sure you're using the right hashtags, because what I see is this, and guys, I've worked with social media. I've worked in social media since I graduated college in 2011. Like, I've worked in social media a long time. And what I see a lot of people doing is using the wrong hashtags. Like, if you're an Etsy sticker shop, they're hashtagging Etsy sticker shops are the best. Like, your customers aren't on that hashtag. Do you know who's on that hashtag? Other Etsy sticker shops. Like, why are you promoting to other people who do what you do? You need to go where your customers are hanging out.
You can fish where the fishes are.
I see that all the
like
time.
Tag planner stickers, because people are looking, or planner decor. Like, that's what your audience is looking for.
I see
and
it
if you
all
don't
the
know,
time.
if you don't know, ask people. Ask people the tags that they use and they search.
Totally.
Ask. If you don't know, ask. Get help.
And Instagram has a great feature where if you put in a hashtag now, you can see like related hashtags. So like if you put in planning, you can view related hashtags that other people are using about planning.
Yeah.
So if you sell quilts, put in quilts and see what other people are looking at. So there's great features out there. Just be smart when you use them, because like, don't be like 30 hashtags and none of them are where your customers hang out, and they're all where your competition hangs out.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good point. Okay, it looks like we've slowed down here in the comments. We're nearing 2 hours. You guys are
my gosh.
like never ending. Someone had a power bar this morning.
I know.
Every one of you.
I need to go eat some food.
I know. Okay, you guys. Well, I'm just going to close up. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you to Lauren for being an excellent resource and being so gracious with your time and knowledge and introducing me to your peeps and welcoming to my peeps. And everyone is the best. Everyone here is the best. Love you all. Remember, $5 off with HIGHFIVE. Okay, HIGHFIVE. Check the description box for links to the study guide, the bonus for the bundle, the really cool printable sticky note templates that Lauren gave, and also use that HIGHFIVE on Lauren's new Finding Focus workbook and my You Got This workbook until Tuesday, close of business Tuesday, guys. Okay, so Tuesday the 2nd, right? Yes, the 2nd. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you gave this video a thumbs up before you leave, and tweet it out, share it, and let us know what you guys are doing with this content and this information, because we absolutely want to know. Until next time, you guys. Bye-bye.